Sierra, along with all of the Team Go Rocket leaders, have finally changed their lineups, and so we're here. Sierra, I would say, pretty much got an upgrade, you guys. Last time she had Shadow Beldum, of course. Now with the Shadow Lapras, I saw a lot of people were having trouble with it. I think I actually got a slightly easier moveset against Lapras right here because it'll be using Water Gun as the fast attack against us. When Lapras has the Ice moveset, I think things can get a little bit more complicated. You're actually going to see on the left, that was my first time ever fighting it. We're using my dad's account, but on the right side, we're actually introducing you to a friend of mine. This would be Longeviton. He lent me his account. He was a groomsman in my wedding. He was actually a college professor of mine. It's kind of interesting. We're good buddies. Anyway, he plays Pokemon Go, so we had some decent choices, but it was kind of foreign to me. I didn't know what he had specifically. Obviously, if it's my account or I play on my dad's enough that I can just be like, oh yeah, I know I've got this Pokemon to pull out for a specific use. So anyway, the key here is going to be Steel types generally. That would be mainly, I guess, if Lapras had Ice. Steel can resist water, but it just kind of depends who you're using, Like, you could use Lucario and stuff because you saw that Machamp just get kind of eaten alive even with the Water Gun moveset. But I did switch to Scizor over there on the left once we lost our Machamp. Now on the right with Longeviton's account, he did have Virizion, and I thought, hey, Virizion has been in the 2020 raid pool. It was just mere months ago at the time of this recording, but of course was in the raid pool before that too. So to me, it was a good choice, mainly having Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is just one of those charge attacks, and there are some other grass ones too, like Seed Bomb if you think about it. Leaf Tornado. They generate energy really fast. In PvE, they're 3-bar charge moves. But anyway, on Longeviton's account, we did start off with the Scizor, whereas on my dad's account there on the left, we just switched out and put in Scyther. And so the interesting thing is that I picked Scyther and Scizor because I was thinking, okay, Scizor for the Steel. We need that for the Lapras in case it gets used. I had, of course, hoped that Machamp would do most of the damage, but it didn't. And then the next Pokemon is going to be Executor, and Executor actually is going to be weak to Bug, so Scyther and Scizor. But then I was kind of hoping for a Shift Tree at the end, and so you'll see what happens in the, I guess, in the minutes to come. But anyway, so a little bit of a botched switch on the right. I did try to switch out Pokemon, and unfortunately, again, I botched that, and so I was going to switch to Mewtwo, who has Flamethrower. So Mewtwo, this is very interesting, of course. Mewtwo can have Flamethrower, and generally kind of a niche use for it, but ultimately for something like this, it was great because it's going to resist the Psychic that's coming out of Executor, while then being able to have a super effective charge attack. So obviously, this Mewtwo having Psycho Cut as its fast attack is, the Executor is going to resist that as well. So obviously, it would have been great to have a fire fast attack and a fire charge. Not realistic on Mewtwo, of course. But you saw that Scyther is actually on the left side battling up against Sierra's last Pokemon, which is a Houndoom. And here's the interesting part of that, is that Houndoom normally could smoke this thing if it was using Fire Fang. And so obviously, balloons are not going to be the same between two accounts, but we actually have another Houndoom over here going up against Scizor on the right. And so Longeviton's actually lucky too. Just like my dad's account is going to be lucky here, this Houndoom is using Snarl. So that's actually great for our choice of Scyther or Scizor. They're going to resist that. And of course, both of these Pokemon having Fury Cutter and X-Scissor, that combination, you can just fire it off so rapidly. And that's actually what saved us here from one hit away of death there from Longeviton's account on the right, which is still going. That seriously, it came down to one move, you guys. That's absolutely insane. But you know what? A win is a win. I usually say don't let anybody diss the party that got you that win. In this case, there might have been better things that we could go with, clearly, but I didn't really know Longeviton's account in and out, backwards and forwards. Sometimes I've seen that some people were pointing to websites, I guess, that said Ludicolo. It might rock on some DPS, but it just doesn't have the TDO, total damage output. So what'll happen to it a lot of the times, unless you've powered it up just kind of largely, then it will faint before it can actually get that damage going, if you know what I mean. So we're going to be covering all of the leaders. We're definitely going to cover Sierra again. I want that Lapras to be using an Ice moveset so we can show what to do in that case, but feel free to click the end screens on screen right here. That'll take you to another video, and I'll catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.